All right, guys. Welcome to the Body, Mind, Soul Project. My name is Yermaya Durrani, and I invite you to join me on a journey of self-improvement. Today what I want to do is I want to share some ideas with you on how you can manage your stress levels in a way so that it strengthens your immune system. Or in other words, why managing our stress is important to our immune system and how it is that we can take actions that strengthen our immune system and make it so that we can prevent illnesses, and recover from them quickly. Okay. The way that we're going to be doing this is we're going to be talking about a couple of different things. Very, very simple. First, what I want to talk about is why stress is a cause of illness. So basically, what are the, impacts of stress on our health? And then after that, I want to talk about strategies that we can take that are going to help us to manage our stress levels. Because the reality is that stress is one of the major causes of illness in the world. And managing it is critically important and can bolster, I should say, our immunity to help prevent and recover from illness faster. Before I get into it, I just want to say that if you guys get any value out of this at all, please like, share, and follow so that I can get this message out to more people. So first of all, I want to talk about why stress is a major cause of illness. Now, I feel so passionate about this particular subject that I'm going to be doing a whole separate video, at a later date on a book that I read that was a life-changing book for me called How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie. And I'm going to summarize that book in a video later on, because as I was researching this particular video, I realized that how important this topic is, and how, useful it could be for people out there to learn different strategies to manage their stress and to start worrying a little bit less. Okay. But I want to talk right now about what the effects of stress on our health are. So basically, stress can lead to all kinds of emotional problems. Okay. Stress can lead to depression. It can lead to panic attacks, and it can lead to other forms of anxiety or worry. There's a difference between positive and negative stress. So there's two types of stress. Now there's positive stress. Positive stress is when we go to the gym and we put our muscles under stress by lifting some weight that is a little bit heavier. Okay, that's positive stress because it makes us stronger. It's like if we get promoted at our job and we get given more responsibility, that responsibility is going to be a form of stress to us. But, it's going to teach us, to be able to accept more responsibility, and it's going to make us better in the long run. That's positive stress. But then there's negative stress. Negative stress is what we call distress. Distress is when you are constantly facing certain challenges or being affected by certain circumstances, and over a long period of time, it's not changing. And that stress is kind of sort of pounding on you over a long period of time. Okay, so distress can lead to all kinds of physical symptoms, including headaches, upset stomach, elevated blood pressure, chest pains, problems sleeping, all kinds of things. So stress also becomes harmful when people use alcohol and tobacco or drugs to try and relieve their stress. So for many, many years, I smoked cigarettes. Right? When I was happy, I'd smoke. When I was sad, I'd smoke. When I was celebrating, I was smoking. When I was stressed out, I was smoking. Okay. People also use drugs and alcohol to relieve their stress. That's something that I've done in the past as well, and that's something that can actually make the problem worse over time. Studies showed that 75 to 90% of all doctors' office visits are for stress-related ailments and complaints. So I want to say that again, 75 to 90% of the time when people go to see the doctor, it has to do with stress somehow. Okay, so that's how big of a role stress plays. And if it's playing a role like that, that's so massive on your health, then that means that it's going to be sort of shutting your immune system down a little bit and making it so that your immune system is not as well off and able to fend off illnesses and recover from illnesses quick enough. Okay, stress can play a part in all kinds of problems, such as headaches, high blood pressure, heart problems, diabetes, skin conditions, asthma, arthritis, depression, and anxiety. Okay, so if that doesn't give you guys enough reason to think about different ways that you can start managing your stress, I don't know what can. And like I said, this is such an important topic that I'm going to go into this a lot more deeper in future videos. Today we're talking about stress directly in relation to your immune system. So I'm not going to get into it as deep, but in another video, like I said, I'm going to summarize the book for everybody because it was a life-changing book for me. I used to be under so much stress, and the truth is, much of it was self-induced. I used to be under so much stress that I had a hard time sleeping, and reading that book is something that really helped me change my mindset, and put me on a better path. Okay, so now we know, how bad stress can be for our health. Let's talk about various different strategies that you can use to manage your stress, okay? So strategy number 1, start meditating, okay? So meditation is going to instantly help you relieve stress. The reason why is because it's going to calm you down. Just the act of meditating means that you're going to relax in a quiet place and you're going to start breathing. One of the first things that we start doing when we're under stress is we stop breathing. Instead of breathing deeply, we start breathing in a very shallow way. Like if I was about to make a big presentation to a bunch of people, or if I was to go on a Facebook Live, okay, which is always stress-inducing for me or tense for me, and I'm about to do it and I'm worried about it, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to stop breathing a little bit, okay? Meditating relaxes you, and it'll literally relax your muscles. It'll take the tension and everything that's inside your body, and it'll relieve it, and it'll allow you to start breathing a little bit, okay, which will totally calm you down. But not only that, what meditation is going to do is it's going to make you more aware of the way that your thought patterns work. Like I said, when I, was extremely stressed out, the truth is much of it was self-induced. I was worrying about things that probably were never going to happen in the future. In fact, most of the time when I was worrying, it was about stuff that was probably never going to happen, and instead of living in the moment, I was living, a week from now or 2 weeks from now. Oh, what if this happens? Oh, what if this happens? So meditation, what it does is makes you more aware of your thought patterns. You start noticing how you think. And the more you do that, when you are in a situation like that, where you habitually feel stress, you're going to notice that this is the way that I think, and you're going to stop yourself, and you're going to start to change those patterns. Because the truth is, a lot of what we do is habitual. And a lot of what we do, because we have certain tendencies, right? And those tendencies and those patterns, they can be broken. But the first step to breaking them is knowing that they exist. Sun Tzu in The Art of War said that the first step to evading a trap is knowing that it exists, okay? So strategy number 2. So strategy number 1 now, I don't expect you to implement every strategy. Just try and pick one strategy that you're going to start to do. If you want to start meditating, start with 5 minutes a day in the morning and 5 minutes a day in the evening. All you do is set a timer, go to a quiet place, sit down with your legs crossed, close your eyes and set the timer. That's it. You don't have to do anything else. Just don't move for 5 minutes. That's all. That's all meditation is. Okay, number 2, get regular exercise. So if you guys have listened to me before, you guys know how big I am on regular exercise. The reason why is because everything that is wrong with your mind can be solved with your body somehow. And everything that is wrong with your body can be solved with your mind somehow. So if that doesn't confuse you, what I mean to say is that your physiology plays a huge role on how it is that you feel. If I'm constantly walking around like this, or if I'm constantly, having a type of physiology or a posture that's very worried, that's going to kind of create an environment inside me where I'm going to be worried. So regular exercise breaks that physiology pattern, okay? What it'll do, if you go for a walk for, say, 30 minutes a day, okay? That's all. At least 30 minutes a day, you start walking around the block a little bit. what that's going to do is it's going to get the blood flowing. Tony Robbins says that emotion is created by motion, right? And he believes that you can't live a fulfilled life that is filled with passion unless you're moving enough, because we're supposed to be moving as human beings. So walking around the block, okay, is going to start to get the oxygen going. It's going to start to get the blood pumping, and it's going to change your state of mind. And all of a sudden, endorphins are going to be getting released. Those endorphins are going to make it very difficult for you to remain stressed out. All you have to do is ask yourself, how did you feel after a workout? Okay, that feeling was probably a pretty good one. If you work out every single day, you'll have that feeling every day. And eventually that feeling will end up becoming a habit as opposed to being stressed out, because being stressed out is a habit oftentimes, okay? The next strategy number 3 is get enough sleep, right? Most people need between 7 to 8 hours a day, and then have a little ritual before you go to bed, For example, for 30 to 60 minutes before going to bed, turn off all devices, turn your phone off, put your phone on airplane mode so that you don't hear these notifications going off constantly. Don't watch TV, because looking at screens, affects our brain in a certain way that it kind of makes us wired, and it reduces the quality of our sleep. Okay. So, have a ritual. Like I said, do a little meditation for 5 minutes before you go to bed, right? Take a cold shower or something like that before you go to bed. Take a nice warm bath before you go to bed. Read a little bit before you go to bed, okay? Don't drink water right before you go to bed, because then you'll wake up, in the middle of the night, 2-3 hours later to pee, and that's going to affect your sleep. But having proper sleep will do wonders for your stress level, If you wake up fully rested, you're going to be in a much, much better position to be able to not just manage your stress, but to manage the day, okay? And then if that doesn't work, right, use the 4 A's of stress management, right? So the 4 A's of stress management are avoid, alter, adapt, and accept, okay? So here's how this works. First, what you want to do is you want to identify the source of your stress, okay? What's the source of your stress, right? Once you've identified what the source of your stress is, say, for example, the source of your stress is, having to, pick up the phone and cold call. Maybe that's stressing you out, okay? See if that's something that you can avoid altogether, or if what stresses you out is having to be around a certain person because you don't get along with that person, or they say things to you that trigger you somehow, then the first step is see if you can avoid the stressful situation. The situation that gives you stress, see if you can avoid it altogether, okay? If that doesn't work, see if you can alter the situation, Say, for example, I get stressed out when I'm with this other person, but it's only when I'm with this other person, it's just me and him. So maybe if I was to have other people around, like 5-6 other people, that would alter the situation. Maybe then I wouldn't be stressed out, okay? So the second A is try and alter the situation, okay? If that doesn't happen, see if you can adapt, yourself, right? See if you can adapt yourself. Maybe there's something that you're doing, that's triggering, stress to take place somehow, right? See if you can adapt. And if that doesn't work, and if you can't adapt, and it's not a situation that you can control, then just learn to accept it, right? There's 2 types of situations in this world. One is a situation that we have control over, and the other is a situation that we don't have control over, okay? Epictetus, the great Stoic philosopher, said this in the handbook, So what we need to spend all of our time focusing on is the things that we can control. See, when I was stressed out before and I was having issues, it's because I was worrying about things that I couldn't control, because they were things that were happening in the future, What I could control, if I was focused on that, I would be making sure that what I was scared of happening never actually happened. So there's 2 things that, there's 2 types of situations: things that we can control, things that we can't control. The things that we can't control, we need to just accept them. We can't control the fact or change the fact that we're in the middle of a global pandemic. We can't control viruses that we can't see, right? But what we can control is all the things that we can do to protect ourselves. We can take care of our hygiene. We can practice prevention, by social distancing. We can do things to strengthen our immune system, So that's what we need to spend our time focusing on. And the other things that we can't control, we need to accept them to a certain degree. And that'll make our stress levels go down, okay? Another thing that you can do, to reduce stress is be around people that you like, Being around people that you love and like is one of the best ways of reducing stress, right? Make sure that the people that you're around are people that you can be safe around and they're good listeners, so that, if you're having a stressful situation, that you can sort of channel your stress and speak to people about it, and sort of vent some of the frustration and stress that you have, right? But make sure that when you're hanging out with that person, that what you're doing is not only talking about your stressful situations and constantly venting, right? Because they might not like that so much. Make sure you have a few different people that you vent to, or that you don't always vent to the same person, okay? Next, manage your time, okay? Manage your time. And what I mean by that is, have things prepared, right? Have things planned. Like if I'm falling out of bed, and then next thing you know, I'm running late for work, and I'm quickly trying to get showered and get ready, and then I'm driving, and next thing you know, there's traffic that I wasn't anticipating. Okay, that's a stressful situation. Now, the truth is, you have to take responsibility for that situation, because I ended up waking up late. If I had woken up an hour earlier, I would have beaten the traffic. I would have had more than enough time to get ready. I would have planned my day, So if you wake up a little bit earlier and plan your day, you can write out what your priorities are. Oftentimes we get stressed out because we feel like we have too many things to do on our to-do list. Well, listen, there's never enough time to do everything, but there's always enough time to do the things that are the most important, okay? So when you wake up a little bit earlier, you can plan your day out, and you can be like, okay, you know what? My highest value activities for the day are these 3 things. And no matter what happens, I'm going to make sure that those 3 things are taken care of, okay? Another thing that you want to do is don't overcommit, So I'm extremely guilty of doing this myself. I'm the type of person that gets excited about so many things and then starts taking on a lot of stuff, I'll be doing multiple challenges at the same time. I'll make commitments like producing videos like this every single day, I'll start multiple businesses, and it's because I love doing these kind of things, actually, and I have a lot of energy and I want to focus it. But you should be careful, because sometimes I put myself in a position where I feel overwhelmed, Okay, another thing that you want to do is, if you're feeling overwhelmed and you're doing some sort of a project that's a very large project, try breaking that project up into small steps. There's a famous saying, how do you eat a whole elephant? Well, the answer is 1 bite at a time, okay? If you have a large project, break it up into smaller steps. And then delegate where you can. Delegate responsibility. If there's a lot of stuff that you have to do, you're feeling overwhelmed, then what you want to do is you want to take that stuff and you want to see, out of that list of all the things that have to be done, what are the things that you have to do, because you're the best at doing them. And maybe there's some things on that list that you're not the best at doing. Maybe somebody else will be better at doing those things. See if you can delegate those things, okay? And then last but not least, live a healthier lifestyle, right? Just taking care of our health, is going to make it so that we feel better. Feeling better is going to reduce our stress levels. So, reduce alcohol consumption, reduce tobacco consumption. Don't drink too much caffeine. These kind of things tend to give us a high, but then we kind of come crashing down a little bit, Watch what you eat. Don't eat too much sugar, right? Eat a healthy diet that's nutritious, okay? And you'll notice that you start feeling really good. And, one extra bonus one that I'm going to give is, live in day-tight compartments, okay? Say to yourself every morning that, listen, the only thing that I have to worry about is the stuff that's going on today. Because the truth is, all that you can really do anything about is the stuff that's going on today. Most of the time, today starts and we're worried about tomorrow, the day after. Just say to yourself that, listen, I live in a day-tight compartment, and all I'm going to worry about is what my responsibilities are for the day. And if I do my responsibilities for the day, then that means that this day was a win for me. Okay. So listen, to conclude, obviously managing our stress levels has a tremendous effect on our overall health and the function of our immune system. Okay. Now more than ever, the fact that we're in the middle of a pandemic, we need strategies to manage our stress, because the truth is, being, in a pandemic like this actually makes us a little bit more anxious. We're kind of worried that we're going to get infected, or, we've got to wear our masks, and there's all this prevention. It's always staring us in the face that, alert, it's a dangerous situation out there. We're constantly being slapped across the face with that. And that has an effect on our stress levels. So now more than ever, we have to pay attention to that and counteract that, and be proactive by doing things that are going to make us feel less stressed out. And if we do that, that's going to give a boost to our immune system. It's going to make it so that if we do fall ill, hopefully we're going to recover faster. And if we're about to get ill, hopefully we might be able to prevent it altogether, because our immune system is so strong. Okay. I want to thank you guys so much for joining in. Please join us tomorrow for the final episode of this series. The final episode is going to be on the topic of rest, how important rest is for your immune system. If you got any value out of this at all, please like, share, and follow so that you can help me get my message out there. Thank you so much. God bless you all. And I hope that you guys have a great evening or morning or afternoon, wherever it is that you're watching this live feed, whether it's on Twitter, YouTube, or Facebook. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.